Week 3 is in the books, so that means it's time to hit those waiver wires to find players that could add value to the back end of your rosters. And quick note, I will be referencing rostership percentages in this video, and those are coming from roster data from 1,700 Dynasty leagues on MFL.com. Basically a 50-50 split of one quarterback in Superflex leagues, all with a minimum of 20-man rosters. So I'm not pulling these players out of nowhere, but it is possible that some or even all of these guys are already rostered in your leagues. But for the most part, there are hundreds of Dynasty leagues out there where these guys are on waivers right now. To kick things off, I want to highlight a couple players that are highly rostered, but they're not exactly 100% rostered that I think need to be. And that includes Jameis Winston, quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, Kareem Hunt, running back for the Cleveland Browns, Rico Dowdle, running back for the Dallas Cowboys, Zach Moss, running back for the Indianapolis Colts, Josh Palmer, wide receiver for the Chargers, Darius Slayton, wide receiver for the New York Giants, and Logan Thomas, tight end for the Washington Commanders. Again, all guys that are already rostered in over 95% of Dynasty leagues out there, but not exactly 100%. So double check your waiver wires and immediately add these guys if they are available. All right, first up, I wanted to group together some backup quarterbacks who could have an opportunity to take over as the starter due to poor quarterback play from the guys ahead of them. So in your Superflex leagues, if any of these guys are available, I would be looking to pick these guys up just in case they get thrown into the starter position because the quarterbacks ahead of them right now are not playing very well. First up is Jacoby Brissett, and unfortunately, Sam Howell just looked horrendous on Sunday against the Bills. He only threw for 170 yards. He averaged under 6 yards per attempt. He threw 4 interceptions on 29 total pass attempts. Now, granted, it was Buffalo who has only allowed opposing offenses to score 29 total points in 3 games, but Howell also had a lackluster game in week 1 against the Cardinals as well, so Jacoby Brissett's time could come if Sam Howell continues to struggle. And they do play the Philadelphia Eagles this week, so another tough matchup for Sam Howell, and we could see Jacoby Brissett get thrown into this starter role if Howell continues to struggle. Number 2 is Taylor Heinicke. Desmond Ridder has also struggled to start this year with 2 games under 60% completion percentage, 2 games under 6.5 yards per attempt. He actually had 5.3 yards per attempt in week 3. He's also only thrown 2 touchdowns on 88 attempts, which is a 2.2% touchdown percentage. Now, the Falcons are somehow 2-1, mostly thanks to Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. So a quarterback change may not necessarily be in the cards soon because the team is actually winning, but Taylor Heinicke needs to be rostered just in case Arthur Smith decides to make a switch. And the third guy I wanted to throw in here, I just wanted to talk about how ridiculous it is that Carson Wentz is still a free agent when we have quarterbacks like Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, and Zach Wilson starting games in the NFL every single week, and Carson Wentz can't even get a contract. I think it's utterly insane to me that the New York Jets organization has been talking about making the playoffs and maybe get Aaron Rodgers back in January for those playoffs, but then they trot out Zach freaking Wilson every single week just to work so hard just to score 10 points in a single game and not turn the ball over. I don't understand why Carson Wentz does not have a job right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he does eventually get a job at some point in the season, and he is good for fantasy football. He's like the new Blake Bortles or the new Ryan Fitzpatrick. He will be good if he starts for fantasy football, not necessarily for real football, but for fantasy. Now, you could probably make a case for a couple other backup quarterbacks behind struggling starters like Jarrett Stidham, behind Russell Wilson. And then when you also include guys like Jake Browning, if Joe Burrow misses any time with his calf injury, plus Jameis Winston, who will take over for Derek Carr after his shoulder AC sprain injury. Between all these guys in Superflex leagues, someone may be available for you to make a move this week and add one of these guys or multiple of these guys in your Superflex leagues. All right, we do have some injury news now. Gus Edwards left the game early and was being evaluated for a concussion. Justice Hill was already inactive with a toe injury. So if both of those guys are out this week, Melvin Gordon would be the RB1 for the Baltimore Ravens against the Cleveland Browns. And even though it's not a very good matchup, as Cleveland has been very good against the run to start the year, a starting running back is still a starting running back. And the way that some of our fantasy teams have just been absolutely hit and drained by these injuries, you may just need a starting running back to hope and pray for in your lineup. And if that's the case, Melvin Gordon is a good add this week and could be thrown right into your lineup. I talked about the Commanders tight ends last week after Logan Thomas left with a concussion, and this week we got a little bit more clarity on how that group would function without Logan Thomas. Cole Turner led the way with 7 targets, hauling in 4 of those targets for 35 yards, and then was also unfortunately tackled on the goal line early in the game as well, so he could have added a touchdown to that stat line as well. And then John Bates caught both of his targets for 12 yards, not really heavily involved, more utilized as a blocker. And this is actually the 3rd week in a row that the Commanders tight end group has seen a 20% or higher target share. Actually, 2 of the 3 weeks, the tight end group was at 30% target share. If Logan Thomas is out again this week, Turner could be a guy that goes from your waiver wire right into your starting lineup, given the usage that he has seen this past Sunday and just the Commanders tight end group as a whole has seen each and every week so far to start the year. Now, the last player that I want to highlight is Donald Parham, tight end for the LA Chargers. And I've actually been monitoring him since week 1 when he totaled 22 yards and scored a touchdown on 3 receptions. And he didn't really do all that much in week 2, but he rebounded in a big way on Sunday with 2 touchdowns on his only 2 receptions. Now, without those touchdowns, it would have been a very lackluster day again for Donald Parham, but the reason that I'm highlighting him is because of his red zone and end zone usage through 3 weeks. When the Chargers get down inside the 5, inside the 10, Justin Herbert is looking for Donald Parham to finish out the drive. I do think that Donald Parham is an interesting stash, just in case anything were to happen to Gerald Everett, who has seen 12 targets so far in 3 games. So if Parham could get up into that 4 to 6 targets per game area, he would be much more reliable on a weekly basis. But until that happens, he's just a stash, but I do think he's a very fun stash, and you could do worse with the back end of your roster. But if you're a Dynasty fantasy football player and you are not subscribed to this channel, please do so, as we're going to be dropping Dynasty-specific content like this video all season long. And if you're looking for some players to trade for in Dynasty, then I highly recommend checking out Justin's video right up here.